Good morning. My name is Matthew, and I'm with the global marketing team at FocalScope. Today, I'm going to walk us through the process of setting up the first new user in FocalScope. It's important first and foremost to note that we require system administrative privileges in order to add new users. Today, we're going to use the example of adding a new help desk agent to FocalScope. His name is Jason, and he's a help desk agent for our Danish market. So we need to create a new personal account with email for him so that he can be helping customers as soon as possible. We'll start at the login screen. Since we just installed FocalScope for our team, we'll log in as the user root, and with the password we specified during the installation process. Now we're in the workspace screen for our default account root. Note that, in the future, a user with system administrative settings can also add a new account without having to log in as root. Let's go to the screen in the uppermost toolbar and then select Administration. Now we're in the administration screen. On the left pane, our first folder is User Access Control. Go ahead and select this folder to open it, and further select users within this folder. Our right pane will normally display a list of all current FocalScope users. Let's right-click anywhere in the blank space on the right side, and we'll have a drop-down menu. We'll choose New, since we're adding a new member. The new dialog window will then appear. In this window, we will start on the first tab, General. We need to name Jason's account as Jason in the name field, Jason Jones in the full name field, and we'll type Help Desk Agent for description. Next, under Account Options, we can choose to disable this account, have FocalScope also assign ticket numbers to emails from his personal account, and/or request that he change his password on his first login. Advanced Options allows us to set permissions for features which will not be discussed here in this overview. Lastly, at the bottom, we can set a first login password for Jason. Now that we have set up the general options, we can go to the Profile tab and select what functions he can have in his personal account, such as calendar, task, contacts, etc. We'll go ahead and check all those boxes. Let's select the Member Of tab to get Jason entered into the correct security group for his job responsibility. Please review another video on our site called Security Groups for further information on this. For the time being, we'll just add Jason to the security group Customer Support Denmark, since he'll be working in the Danish market. On the following tab, Asterisk, we can configure Jason's IP telephony options. We need to enter his extension for incoming calls and his caller ID for outgoing calls. Below, we need to enter the details of the Asterisk Gateway URL. We also have the option on the last tab to configure the Jabber client. This is only relevant if you are using an external, non-integrated Jabber host. If you are using the integrated FocalScope one, you do not need to complete this. Please refer to the user manual for more information. So now we're done. We'll go ahead and press OK. Now Jason will appear in our list of users. The next step is for us to set up a personal email for Jason. Let's again look at our left pane. Let's go ahead and close the User Access Control folder and scroll down to Email Accounts. After selecting the Personal folder within Email Accounts, we'll see a list of FocalScope users' personal email accounts. Since Jason was added as a user, his email option will automatically be included. We'll select Jason's accounts in the Personal folder and then right-click anywhere in the blank space on the right pane. In the drop-down menu, let's go ahead and choose New. We'll now be in the Email Account Properties window. This is where we'll set up Jason's personal email account. So let's enter Jason's email as jason@globetelecoms.com, enter his display name as Jason Jones, and describe this email as Jason's personal email. We need to check the box which tells FocalScope to automatically go out and download his new emails. We can further indicate how often that should happen and how many messages can be downloaded at once. The next part is where we can tell FocalScope where to connect with our email. Like many standard email clients, FocalScope integrates with your email host or server through POP3 for incoming messages and SMTP for outgoing messages. If you do not have this information already, you may need to contact your IT department for the correct parameters. In our case, to set up our POP3, we'll enter our server name, the port number, and whether we'll want to use an SSL protocol. We can then select whether we want a copy of incoming emails to be kept on the server or not, And if so, for how long? Next, we'll enter Jason's username and password that we set up previously. FocalScope gives you the option to then test the POP3 connection. We press this button, and presto, it works. So let's move on to our SMTP outgoing details. We enter the server address, port number, and select whether to use SSL again, and then choose whether to log into the outgoing server as anonymous, same as the POP3 credentials, or enter additional credentials. In our case, we choose to use the SSL and the same credentials as POP3. Let's press Test SMTP, and we confirm that this connection works. Jason's almost ready to roll on his new email. We just need to select the Advanced tab now. FocalScope works with a number of security protocols. We'll select SSL for our POP3 transport and SASL for our authentication. Under SMTP, we'll choose SSL again. Finally, let's log out and log in again into FocalScope under Jason's account. We'll enter his username, Jason, and his password in the login screen. Once we're in, we'll see his new account is nicely set up with his personal email and functionalities, along with shared folders and items. He even already has received a new email. Jason is now fully ready to email, chat, call, and otherwise begin work within FocalScope. We were able to set him up in less than 5 minutes. Yes, it is that easy. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions about configuring FocalScope, please contact your FocalScope representative or visit us directly at www.focalscope.com. We're always working on new and innovative ways to improve FocalScope's functionality and experience for our users. We welcome your suggestions. Thank you for your time and interest in FocalScope.